being young, foolish kids, we went and signed that SS5 form with a general signature.
Yes.
But what we have learned how to do since that time is to go back and indenture the Social Security Trust, or as Christian Walter says, expressing the trust.
Right.
And so probably back in, I don't remember, 2001 or so, I went and wrote a trust indenture and sent it to Social Security. Now, what that did was that demonstrated that I'm the settler on that trust. I'm the only party that put any value into it.
Right.
So I would be called, in terms, I would be called the contributing beneficiary, which would make me the settler. Now, I'll give you, for instance, how we've used this that might be of interest to you.
Yes, sir.
A lady called me from Canada some time ago, maybe about a year or so ago, and she was right in the middle of a criminal case and doing poorly at it.
Okay.
And so she said, what ought we to do? I said, how about we change directions? She said, what do you mean? I said, the next time that you go into court, I said, you tell the judge that you are, that she is the settler for the straw man trust, and that she, the woman, is appointing the judge as the trustee. I said, once you get that done, I said, then tell the judge that you are, in fact, the beneficiary of that trust, and here are your instructions as trustee, and here's what I want you to do. I said, at that point, hand over a copy of the complaint, which you've accepted for value, and put all that language on. I said, stick that to them. And I said, and then, I said, as the beneficiary, I said, create an invoice for all the property they've stolen from you, all the time you were in jail, and all the time it has taken you to do this. And I said, create a ledger, create an invoice, get it notarized, and give that to the trustee. And just ask the trustee, how quick can you get this paid? And I tell you what, man, it brought a screeching halt to that court case in a heartbeat. Now, and so she said, what to do now? She said, they won't talk to me anymore. I said, well, I said, do just like what the IRS does. I said, go ahead and send them a 30 and a 60 and a 90-day notice. Pay up. I said, because on the 91st day, that invoice turns into a security, and now you are the only party in that court case that has a certified claim. So last I heard, she was, getting after the Attorney General up there in B.C. to get her money.
So is it that, I mean, are you saying these remedies are completely out there, and you've been able to crack of the code? And what do you think is happening? What is a judge thinking when they get that document? What's going through their minds? What's going through the prosecutor's minds when they hear this stuff? When they hear this?
Well, what they're probably thinking is, boy, I wish I hadn't showed up today.
They don't expect anybody to know this.
No, they don't. What happens typically, again, a lot of people don't realize that a court is a bank.
Yes.
and they operate like a bank. And when that attorney puts in that complaint, it is a negotiable instrument. And so they take it to the bank clerk, hand it over. The bank clerk looks at it and says, okay, everything's in order here, and they go give it to the judge, who puts it in his vault. And from that point on, the only thing you ever see are copies. Now, that's why we do acceptance for value on court cases, is because by accepting the copy that they give to you, the presentment that they give to you, that makes you the holder in due course of that negotiable instrument, regardless of where it's at. If it's in the judge's vault all locked up, fine, that's great. Keep it safe for me, Judge. But in the meantime, I'm the holder in due course, and I'm the only party that can execute it.
Oh.
So, I think a lot of people, have studied a little bit about acceptance for value and those kind of things. And let me just say that under the bankruptcy that we're operating in, the only remedy that's available to anybody is acceptance.
Okay. Okay, very
And
good.
people go into court and argue and carry on and spit and fight and all that kind of thing. That's why I say we don't fight, we accept. We agree.
Okay.
Because if you fight with it, it creates controversies, and then you take it into equity, and the judge is going to rule against you. So why get into an argument with them? Just say, fine, I accept it.
You know what? You just said something really amazing, Winston, and that's something. The difference. What is equity all about?
It's about, well, in our present way of looking at it, it has to do with fairness.
Okay.
What does the judge think is fair? And so the judge is going to say, well, I work for the state. They cut my paycheck every week, so I always think it's fair that you pay. Tell the defendant you need to pay so I can have a new set of golf clubs. That's what equity is.
You're going to pay, and let's find an equitable amount to suit the crime.
There, like for instance, I sat there in traffic court one day listening to people, and the judge say, well, you were speeding and you were doing this, that, and the other, and I could probably charge you $1,000 for what you just did here, but I'm only going to charge you, let's see, how about $500? Oh, thank you, Your Honor, thank you. What in the world are those people thinking? So you're thanking him for giving him $500, knowing that he's going to put about 33% of it in his pocket?
Really?
Well, of course. You don't think they sit up there on that bench for nothing, do you?
Well, I thought they got a salary or something.
Oh, they get a salary, but they also get a cut.
Whoa, that's like debt collection. There it is.
Well, of course it is. That's why I was saying a minute ago on this, on all these foreclosures and stuff are going on. Do you think in your wildest imagination as a judge and not getting a piece of that? That's why you can't go into the court with these foreclosures and stuff and win in the traditional way that people have been trying to do. I mean, if the judge lets you win, he's taking money out of his retirement fund. Why would he do that? The court is a corporation.
What is the state or the banks or the legal's remedy against somebody that's not paying on the note linked to the mortgage then? If they can't bring in the note and the person is supposed to be paying for the house, what do not that,
Okay,
I mean,
let's back up for a minute.
Yeah.
And that is, because people do not understand negotiable instruments. When they get into a real estate transaction, they do the wrong thing.
Okay.
And that is they're bringing in an unregistered note. Now, we've told people, if you get into a real estate transaction, take the note and sign it and record it in the county recorder's office and take that to closing, and there'll be no mortgage.
Wow.
The problem is that people are taking in unregistered notes, and the consequence of that, the bank says, well, thank you very much, but what does this have to do with the mortgage? And so you're giving them a free gift.
So when you register it, sir, when you sign it and then you go and record it with the clerk, what is that process about? What are you effectively doing?
Okay, it all goes back to taxes. People don't realize this, that everything that happens in the public is a tax. Everything should be viewed from the tax. And for those of you who come down to the seminar and listen to my mentor, he looks at everything as a tax. Now, so what happens is that when you take the note to the recorder and register it in the commercial registry, that creates the exemption from taxation. A mortgage payment is only a tax payment. So when you register the note in the commercial registry under your signature, that creates the exemption because you're the principal, you see. And so when you take that recorded note to closing, then that is, in fact, a payment in full, and there is no mortgage. But if you don't register the note and you take it in, it's a